Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Donald Trump and specifically how the Democrats have viewed and the presentation of what Donald Trump is that the Democrats have given to America over the last 4 years, and how dramatically wrong the Democrats were in how they painted Donald Trump, and how they are now reaping a harvest of problems based on the intellectual laziness and the just um shockingly bad going against shockingly bad opposition they posed to Donald Trump. So basically, first of all, I'm going to talk today about Donald Trump's presidential persona. I think we need to start thinking about this, right? The President Trump that you're seeing right now, he has taken on and crafted a persona for these 8 years that he is going to be president. For the 4 years that he's done, and trust and believe he's going to get another four. The Democrats have been outmaneuvered by him at every single step, and they will be outmaneuvered in November. I am predicting that. I am predicting that the Democrats have a 1% chance of beating Donald Trump. There's always fate, there's always a random point in there. So, but I'm predicting now Donald Trump is actually going to crush Joe Biden in November. He will defeat him, no two ways about it. So what's been happening? And so basically, I'm going to talk about Donald Trump's presidential persona, and he is a celebrity. You need to understand this. Not only is he a celebrity, but he's specifically a celebrity that has worked directly with the the Worldwide Wrestling Foundation, right? So he learned how to create this persona and then how to play that role, right? So he is playing strongman president right now. And what you're seeing is really not Donald Trump. It's a persona that Donald Trump has crafted, right? Um, there's a guy on, I think it's called I think it's Red Letter Diaries, on YouTube, Mike Stocklasa, and he does videos, but when he does them, he uses this persona, right? He doesn't go by his regular name. He goes by this persona that he does, and that's exactly what President Trump is doing. He's not being president as Donald Trump. He is being president as this persona he's crafted to do the job. And so what I'm going to say today is one, the Democrats never understood that. They never understood that there was this layer between, right? And they should have recognized that, right? There were a few people who did. There are people who wrote articles about Kayfabe. Look that up. And but overall, people missed what was happening here. And the Democrats just played him so wrong, right? So what did the Democrats present Donald Trump to America as? They presented him as a monster, right? And they presented Donald Trump the person as a monster, and they were like, look at this monster. He's a blob, right? He's big and grotesque, and he just kind of slithers on the ground. You can see his veins. He's horrible to look at, and he doesn't think, right? He doesn't have strategy. He just comes down the street, goes over the building, absorbs a person if they get in their way. He's not effective. He's not smart. He's not crafty. He's not a maneuvering political person. He's just a moron, an idiot. They said every single, they just denigrated his intellect, said that he, was bad at politics, and just said, this is a lumbering beast monster, right? Now, here's the problem, okay? Frankly, in my opinion, the presidential persona that Donald Trump has created is a monster, right? But what the Democrats missed is the type of monster he is. He's a vampire, right? And now, why does that matter? Well, here's the issue, right? If you're saying that he's this grotesque, horrible monster that you can't look at, here's a good example. And it's incredible how deep this goes. Alan Lichtman just did his keys, right, to say that Donald Trump is going to lose. You know how he got there? He said that Donald Trump is not charismatic. Are you drunk? Like, Donald Trump, it was Alan Lichtman drunk when he, I'm joking. I'm sure he did. I think he was completely sober when he did this the whole time. I'm not making allusions there. But my point is, to say that Donald Trump is not charismatic is outrageously foolish, and frankly, it means that Lichtman's wrong. right? So Lichtman is saying that Trump will lose in December. Lichtman has not been wrong in a long time, right? He hasn't been wrong ever. Not since like Reagan. Actually, he has the longest running prediction rate ever, right? He's 100% wrong on Trump. 100% wrong. Okay. And so one of the things, Alan Lichtman was like, oh, Donald Trump's not charismatic. Are you out of your mind? This guy, how do you say a guy who had a reality TV show for like 3 years, right? Wrote books and functioned as a celebrity for 2 decades, does not, and showed up at the WWF and came out like, as if he were a wrestler multiple times, doesn't have charisma. That's outrageously wrong, right? So Trump is so effective that he makes super intelligent people like Alan Lichtman turn their brains off. And I will say that when Lichtman made his like little list, he clearly turned his brain off. To say that Donald Trump is not charismatic, in what world? Like, are you living in, are you in this world? Or are you in some other, like, have you made a device that allows you to live in some other world? Clearly Donald Trump is charismatic, right? So, but where the Democrats went wrong is President Trump's presidential persona is monstrous, but it's a vampire, right? And what they didn't get is when people saw the vampire, they're like, oh, well, wow. Did he just turn into like a cloud of bats and fly off with the moon behind him? That looked pretty dope. Oh, wait, did he just transform into a wolf? Look at those sharp fangs. That's pretty cool, right? Celerity, speed. Vampires have super speed, right? Like, super speed. That's Donald Trump. Super speed. He has outmaneuvered the Democrats absolutely constantly, right? Like, just in every single way, right? The other thing is, like, mesmerism. Vampires can hypnotize people, right? Clearly, Trump has hypnotized a large swath of America, right? With his rhetoric and his ways and the way he has crafted his persona and moved forward, right? The thing is, vampires are super dope, right? Like, and that's the issue, is the Democrats were like, look at this grotesque blob who has very little intellect and can't maneuver quickly. But the reality is he turned out to be this mesmeric, transforming, super fast, super strong, fanged predator, right? And I can't tell you how incredibly, like, problematic this is, because it makes the Democrats look like fools. The Democrats are not fools. They lost their minds when Trump came in, and they could not control themselves, and they said things that were foolish and wrong, right? And now, 4 years later, I just listened to Political Gabfest, and they are saying, look at how incredibly dangerous Trump is after the RNC. Look at how he's delivered. They listed the things he's delivered: judges, tax reform, tax cuts for the wealthy, a booming, robust economy, an absolutely skyrocketing stock market, immigration, right? Like, that's terrible for us on the Democrats, but he delivered what they wanted, what the Republicans wanted on immigration, right? And the list just went on and on and on. There was like 4 or 5 things I didn't even list, right? To understand Trump, to understand what happened, is the Democrats crafted this message that was shockingly wrong to the American people. And 4 years later, the American people were like, the Democrats don't know what they're talking about. This guy is clearly not grotesque or lumbering. He is, at minimum, a super dope predator, right? Like, just like a vampire. And so, and the thing is, you don't get to just say this for 4 years and be like, oh, sorry, we're wrong. You will reap a harvest of loss, and that's what's coming. The Democrats are going to get absolutely stomped in November because they have lied, and I don't even think it was purposeful. They just lost their minds. That's what happened. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.